Did you know you could waste over 20,000 euros in your lifetime on subscriptions you don't even use? As a certified financial educator, I've seen people make the same 7 money mistakes that mean they never manage to save enough money at the end of the month. So let me show you what these 7 mistakes are and, more importantly, how to avoid them so you can save more money and start working toward retiring early. Number 1 could actually cost you hundreds of thousands of euros, even though almost everyone thinks it's the smartest financial decision they will ever make. Growing up, I've been told the same thing over and over again. Buying a house is the best investment you will ever make. Renting is just throwing money away. You've probably been told the same. If you are like most Europeans, you make buying a house your number 1 financial priority, as you've been told you should. So you start saving up every cent so that you can buy a home. And after years of hard work and sacrifice, you can finally afford one. No more paying rent, no more giving away money to your landlord who's out there getting rich while you still own nothing. So you rush to buy a home thinking it's the best financial decision you could make. It feels like you've just ticked the box on the successful adult to-do list. But here's the thing. Most people never look at the full picture. Buying a house feels like this huge life milestone. It's exciting, it's emotional, it's something you've probably dreamed about for years. And when you finally start the process, everyone around you, the bank, the realtor, even friends and family, mostly talk about one thing, the mortgage. That big monthly number becomes the entire focus. Everything else feels small or irrelevant in comparison. And of course, there's always that thought in the back of your mind, if anything goes wrong, I can just sell it. But actually, even if you bought a house for 250,000 euros and sold it for 300,000, you could still lose money. Because the real cost of owning that home can be hundreds of thousands more than you ever expected. It can easily go over 400,000 euros in some cases. Why? Because owning a house isn't just a mortgage. It's maintenance, taxes, insurance, renovations, all the boring, expensive stuff nobody talks about. And most people don't see it coming at all. So how do you avoid throwing away hundreds of thousands of euros? You've got to run the real numbers. Buying your home, not just signing a mortgage, it is one of the biggest financial decisions you will ever make. And despite what you've been told, most of the time it's not an investment, it's a lifestyle choice. It doesn't make you money, and after all the hidden costs, it might even make you lose some. And chances are, even if you try to estimate them, you're probably massively underestimating these costs. That's why I built a free calculator that shows you exactly what a home will really cost over time, so you can make a fully informed decision. You'll find the link in the description. Number 2 is something that probably hits closer to home than you think, because it definitely did for me. Recently I moved, and I had to pack everything I owned. So I started making boxes, some with books, some with kitchen stuff. Let me tell you, the box kept piling up. 1 box, 2 box, 5, 10, 20. And that's when it hit me. Most of the things I owned, I had never used them. Some I didn't even remember buying. They were just sitting there collecting dust. The truth is, probably 80% of what I had wasn't stuff I needed. I bought it because it looked nice or because I could afford it, not because it added any real value to my life. This is what I call lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the most dangerous financial traps you can fall into. You spend more just because you can, even if you don't need the stuff you bought, just because you have the money. So how do you avoid falling into the same trap? Use a simple trick called the 24-hour rule. Whenever you want to buy something, write it down and wait 24 hours. Actually, buying it triggers a dopamine rush in our brains. It feels exciting to get something new. But it's often more about the thrill of the process than the things we buy. The excitement fades faster and you're left feeling guilt instead of satisfaction. So if after 24 hours you still really want it, go ahead. But if not, it means it was just an impulse. Using the 24-hour rule helps you avoid this, so you stop wasting money on things you never use, just like I did. Number 3 is actually one of the biggest ways people waste money. I love traveling, okay? Seriously, it's my guilty pleasure. The moment I can, I'm booking a flight to go somewhere new. For example, now I'm in Thailand. And over time, I learned how to travel smart without overspending, so I can fit more trips into my budget. But every single time I go somewhere, I see people spending thousands of euros on trips that could have easily cost a fraction of that. Just last month, I was in Vietnam. I can't tell you how many Europeans I've seen eating at local restaurants and paying 15 euros for a dish that usually costs under 3 euros. And when I talk to clients or friends about that, they always tell me the same thing. I've worked all year, so I'll spend whatever I want on holiday. I deserve it. And I get it. You want to relax and enjoy your time. But why spend so much more when you could easily have the same experience for way less money? So how do you do that? The first step to spend less is to plan the big expenses like hotels and flights as early as possible and do it yourself. Travel agencies just charge for something you can book in 2 minutes online. Step 2. Avoid the tourist traps. Get out of your comfort zone and eat at local spots. Skip overpriced activities, even shop at local markets instead of malls. You will save thousands each year, and honestly, the overall experience is usually better. Now, waste number 4 is a sensitive one, but it's something we really need to talk about, because a lot of people get into serious financial trouble over it. I'm talking about your wedding. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you shouldn't have one. You should absolutely celebrate your big day however you want. But that doesn't mean spending money you don't have and going to debt hoping it will all somehow work out. Unfortunately, that's what most people do. They take on loans, max out credit cards, ask their families, and then spend years paying it all back, which keeps them living paycheck to paycheck and blocking them from building real wealth. That's why for something this big, you should plan ahead. So how do you do that? Simple, start saving now. That means every month, when you receive your paycheck, you set aside some money in a dedicated savings account for big goals. This way, when you get married, you can afford your wedding without destroying your finances. And this leads to waste number 5, and it's a big one. A client of mine lost over 40,000 euros because of this. He had a good job, and he was earning well. So he decided to treat himself and buy a brand new Volvo. But 3 years later, he decided to change it because he wanted a bigger car. So he first tried to sell his Volvo. But he discovered that his car was valued much less than the 80,000 euros he paid. He had to sell it for less than half. In just 3 years, he had lost over 40,000 euros on this car. Which might seem surprising, but this is the reality of car prices. Studies show that new cars lose over 50% of their value in their first 3 years alone, even if the car looks and drives like new. And that's why, financially speaking, buying a brand new car is almost never a smart move. So what should you do instead? In most cases, the best choice is to buy a used car, but not too used, because the same studies reveal there is a sweet spot. Cars between 3 and 5 years old are your best bet. By that time, the car has already lost most of its value, so it's rather cheap, but it's still in great condition. You can also easily look up whether that model has any recurring issues. Plus, it depreciates much more slowly, so if you ever want to resell it, you will lose way less money. Now, for waste number 6, let me ask you something. Do you know how many subscriptions you're paying for right now? Netflix, Prime, gym, services, paid newsletters, maybe some apps. They don't cost much individually, and that's why you probably sign up. It feels like a bargain for what you get. But there are some you probably never use or need. And altogether, they could be costing you thousands of euros per year. The worst is that most renew automatically, so you might not even notice. Just a few months ago, I noticed a 300 euros charge on my credit card. It was a yearly subscription I didn't even remember I had. And chances are, something like that has happened to you too. So how can you avoid this? Start by checking your credit card statements. You will see all the subscriptions you're currently paying for. Then ask yourself, do I really use this? Do I actually need it? If the answer is no, just cancel it. And if you want a simple way, there are paid services that can track and manage your subscriptions for you. But yeah, it would be another subscription. The important thing is that you keep control over all these subscriptions, because otherwise you could be wasting money without even realizing it. Now we're at waste number 7, and this could have made an extra 3 million euros to a client of mine. He had just inherited his parents' money and started reviewing how it had been managed. At first, everything looked fine. The investments were handled by a financial advisor, and the reports seemed solid. But when he checked more in detail, he realized his parents had missed out on over 3 million euros in potential gains over the past few decades. It turns out their financial advisor was being paid on a percentage of how much they had invested, plus commissions on the product he sold them. So instead of recommending what was best for them, he pushed what was best for his own paycheck. And that's the problem with most financial advisors. They're incentivized to sell products, not to grow your wealth. They don't have your best interest in mind. That's why you need to be extremely careful with their financial advice, because most are just trying to get money from you. But if you can't even trust financial advisors, what should you do? Learn to invest your money yourself. It's way cheaper, gives you better results, and it's easier than you think. This way, you're not going to miss out on opportunities as the parents of my client did, and you will see your money grow faster than in any other way. The problem is most of the content online about investing is made for Americans, and it doesn't work the same way in Europe. But I've already helped many Europeans invest safely, grow their money faster, and do it with minimal time and effort. So if you want to do the same, watch this playlist here, where I'll show you everything you need to know about investing in Europe so you can grow your money safely over time the smart way.